Alright everyone, so in this video here, yeah, I got one of these. This is the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. And the nice thing about this controller, on the side note, is that this is compatible with Microsoft's next Xbox. The Xbox Scarlett, as of this recording. So, yeah, I mean, for the kind of money you're paying for this controller, it is actually a nice assurance that I would be able to use this controller. You know, if I decide to upgrade my Xbox One X to the next Xbox. But nonetheless, we have the controller here. This is how the box looks like. This is the Series 2. So one thing you are going to notice is that the overall design of the controller is modeled after the revised version of the Xbox One controller. So, you know, with the Xbox One S and the One X, the controllers that comes with those consoles is based off of those. So while you had the original Elite controller, which was modeled after the original version of the controller, this one is model after the newer versions, but they do change some things on here that makes it future-proof. So let's go ahead and open this up. And this is $180. Oh man, that is a lot of money for a controller. I'm not gonna lie. Though you do get these little pull tabs, so that's kind of nice. Ooh, peels off like butter. For $180, it should be some nice pull tabs. And we open it up. Ta-da! And the packaging is pretty identical to the original version. Identical enough, but you do have this. But we'll get into that in just a second. So let's go ahead and see what else is in here. So we got the USB-C cable. And in here, it's probably just like some manual or something. Oh, wow. Someone has some dirty hands putting this thing together. And we have all this stuff here. Now, sometimes they like to add some, yeah. So yeah, it does include a code for Game Pass Ultimate 14-day trial. Got a little pamphlet there and the actual manual for it. Let's go ahead and just throw those inside here for now. And of course, the USB-C cable. Right here. So yeah, oh wow, this is a really nice cable. So yeah, the big thing with this controller is Microsoft. I was almost going to say Nintendo. Microsoft is going the USB-C route with this controller, which is really, really good. I've never been a fan of micro USB. I've always thought that was just a terrible, terrible connection. It's just so fragile. In fact, I've always preferred mini USB connections over micro USB. But this USB-C, they give you a nice braided cable. Should be a nice cable for the kind of money you're paying for this. And of course, the case. It's a very similar case from the other one, but this is a little bit different. So we open this up. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, it does have the little Xbox emblem right there. Nothing on the bottom. There's a little pass-through, but we'll get to that. Open it up. Ta-da! Of course, you have a little area here to put your cable in there. And we got the controller. Okay, not gonna lie, there is some weight to this thing. And this whole thing is all rubberized too. Really nice looking controller, holy crap. Another cool thing about this is that there is no battery cover. This actually has a built-in rechargeable battery. And of course, you got your USB-C connection right there. Everything else, for the most part, is pretty much identical. There are a couple of changes on this thing, and I'll get to that. But let's go ahead and take a look at what you get here. So you have this little protector thing that we can just pull right off. And this is actually your charging dock. Oh wow, this thing's actually magnetic. Okay, I can understand why this costed a little bit more, because wow, this thing has some weight to it. Holy crap. So yeah, the nice thing about this is that, hey, they give you a charging dock. Because, you know, at first, I actually forgot that this was actually with it. Because, you know, while I was in the store, I was looking for like a charging cradle for this thing, but I forgot this actually comes with one. So yeah, you can actually just use this as like a standalone. And then use that. And this is magnetic too. And just use that as your charger. I think for this, I may end up just... Oh, by the way, before we continue, the reason why there's a little pass-through hole here is because, obviously the back of this has the USB-C connection. When you have this on here, it acts as a pass-through to plug directly to the charger. So you can just fish it in here, like so, and then when you're not using it, you can close it up, and this is how you charge it. That's actually really nice. And I would not be surprised if someone at Microsoft either used to work for NVIDIA or was inspired by the original NVIDIA Shield Portable, because their carrying case has the same concept. Basically a little pass-through, you just put your cable through it, charge it while it's in the case. When you're done, you can just pull it out, close it up like so, and bring this with you. When you come back, you can just take it, plug it in there like so, and you're done. They had to get this idea from the NVIDIA Shield. There is no other way around it. Nonetheless, this is actually a really nice way to incorporate the case and to actually make the case more useful. Because quite honestly, at least from my personal experience, I don't really take these controllers with me. So the fact that I can just use this as like a charging dock and just, you know, zip this up to protect the controller while I'm not using it, kind of nice. So let's take a look at some of these features. I'm just going to let this dangle there. But obviously, if you ever used the Elite Series controllers before, this is going to be pretty similar, because these things do come off just like the other one. There is one change though with these control sticks, and that is you can actually adjust the tensions on these. You get this little tool here, and you can actually adjust the tension. Okay, that's actually pretty stiff. Actually, let me just double check. That's pretty loose. This one I haven't touched. This feels like the original controllers. This one is noticeably stiff. And there should be 3 different settings. So if I turn again like so, so if I stop there, it's a little stiffer than this one. And if I turn it all the way this way, basically having this little screw thing level to the top, if I put this back on, yeah, it is quite a bit stiffer. Not like enough that, you know, it would be difficult to use, but for games like here's a perfect example. One of my issues when it comes to control sticks is that if the stick is too loose, I tend to be too aggressive with the control sticks. So probably for me, I'm just going to go ahead and adjust these to make it much stiffer. So let me go ahead and do that. So if I make these pretty stiff, yeah, I kind of like that. Anyway, so another difference besides, you know, the slight color change. But if you ever use these things before, oh wow, the magnet on this is a lot stronger this time. But you can obviously change the D-pad. So if you want the regular type of D-pad, you can do that. Personally, for me, I've always kind of liked the disc version. I've always liked this version. And of course, you can also change the thumbsticks on the top. So you basically have 2 short ones like this. There is a difference though, and that is they only give you 1 long one this time around. I don't know why they did that, because quite honestly, there are situations where having 2 longer sticks makes more sense. But maybe when Microsoft was doing testing on them, or with the original version, is that they found out that most people weren't using both long ones, they were only using one. So why include both long ones? But yeah, you can basically do that. So for games like, you know, first-person shooters, you want the longer one, you know, for more precise aiming and things like that. That would make sense. Or if you want to switch it around for, say, like, you know, a 3D platformer, you want to have more precise movements. That's what the longer stick allows you to do. But yeah, this controller really feels nice. Obviously, they do give you the triggers on here. One improvement that they supposedly did on this is that the plastic used where this little dot here presses on that button there, that little circle right there, they made the plastic a lot stiffer this time, because one of the issues the original model had was if you do use those triggers underneath it a lot, it eventually impressions the plastic, and then it basically becomes useless over time. So supposedly they made the plastic on this a lot more durable. And another thing they did was the triggers. The original one only had 2 options. This one has 3. So you have your original, you know, just original throw with the trigger. If you go to the middle one, this is pretty much identical to the original Elite controller. And if you press it one more time, it just barely presses. So this right here, I'll say this. It's part of the reason why especially if you play a game like Fortnite, well, I'm only using Fortnite as an example in this case, but it's part of the reason why when I played Fortnite, I've always preferred, when I'm playing on the controller, I prefer using the Nintendo Switch Pro controller because it has digital triggers. So you don't have, the throw, this big travel to, aim and shoot. If I want to play Fortnite, I can literally just put it all the way to the other side, and this has the same amount of travel as a Switch Pro controller. So in this way, for games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, especially when it comes to like competitive online shooters, this right here, at least for Xbox players, this is a pretty big game changer right there. And also, besides that, there are additional presets now. So you don't have an actual switch anymore. You actually just have a button, and that's why you have these little indicators right there. But yeah, besides that, those are the major differences. This controller feels really, really nice. I do like it that you can adjust the thumbsticks tensions on these things, which is really, really nice. The weight, it's not too heavy, but it's obviously going to be heavier than an original Xbox One controller. But the way this feels really, really nice. And supposedly they also fixed the issue where the rubber coating shouldn't peel off over time like the original one does. Mine never did, but then again, I don't really play the Xbox for hours and hours every single day. So it's more like once or twice a week type of thing for a couple of hours, and that's it. But yeah, everything else is pretty much identical. So underneath here, you're going to have your regular connection for headset peripherals, and of course your regular headphone jack right there. And obviously in the front, you're going to have your sync button and of course the USB-C connection. So that is the Elite Series 2 Xbox controller. And for the price, even though it does cost a little bit more, but looking at this now, you're kind of getting you're also getting a charger, a charging dock with it. So I think for the price, it seems pretty fair for what they're asking for. I'm not saying this controller is for everyone. I'm definitely not saying that. This is not a controller that everyone should go out and buy. But from the places I've been looking online, and for like retail stores like GameStop, Best Buy, things like that, pretty much all the locations in my area, they're all sold out. So this one I just got lucky because I stopped by Best Buy on my way home, and it seems like they just got one in. So I went ahead and picked one, and it seems like, just a little side note before I end the video, if you want to end the video now, make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. But before I end this video, just wanted to tell you a quick story when I was picking this up. It seems like there was a couple, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. Apparently they were looking to get this because when I picked up the box in the store, the guy was just standing there, and I guess he was waiting if I was going to put it back on the shelf or anything, because he was clearly walking towards the Xbox section in Best Buy. But when I picked this up, he kind of just, stood around and waited. And I guess when he realized, I was essentially walking away with the box with this, I guess, I didn't turn around and looked or anything. But I mean, I kind of noticed that he was kind of going there to buy one of these things, and they only had one in stock. So yeah, that was, Sorry it's a little bit long, but you know, I want to get, you know, all the details in, but that is just a unboxing and overview of the Elite Series 2 for the Xbox or PC. You don't have to buy this for the Xbox. You know, if you're a PC gamer and you want a really, really good controller, this is it. So anyway, I'll end it there. Like always, have a good one. Leave those comments down below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you do subscribe, hit the bell icon and feel free to join, become a member to help support this channel. And like always, have a good one.